Hey, this is Zeklog the Great. There is a widespread idea in America today that I call the cult of the holy victim. This is one of the more insane and destructive ideas current in that it underlies much of the other foolishness and madness in our society. What do I mean by the cult of the holy victim? It's the idea that merely because someone has suffered, they are a moral authority and cannot be contradicted. One recent example is the teenagers whose classmates were shot in Parkland, Florida. Suddenly, anyone who dared argue with these children was a horrible, cruel villain. Why? Because they had experienced pain. That is the only claim to moral authority David Camera Hogg and his compatriots have. Another more general case is single mothers. It's so hard and so painful and so stressful to be a single mother. How could anyone be so cruel as to criticize them? They have moral authority because their lives are so hard. In a similar way, American blacks endured slavery. Jews were traumatized by the Holocaust. We cannot disagree with or question these people. They have suffered, although almost no one alive today actually has, but set that aside, and therefore they have authority. This is moral idiocy. That a person is experiencing or has experienced pain or oppression lends him no credibility whatsoever. Depending on the circumstances, it may well undermine his credibility. In the Old Testament, among other things, we have a record of the history of Israel over several hundred years. Over this time, Israel experienced numerous catastrophes, both man-made and natural. You know what they said each and every time? Where did we go so wrong that God would allow this to happen to us? What did suffering mean to them? You went wrong somewhere. Get back on track. It absolutely did not mean you are now a moral authority and everyone must bow to your wisdom. Indeed, much closer to the opposite. Frankly, this is a much saner approach. So, how did we get from there to here? When a religious scheme is shattered, it is not merely the vices that are let loose, but the virtues are let loose also. And the virtues wander more wildly, and the virtues do more terrible damage. The modern world is full of the old Christian virtues gone mad. G.K. Chesterton from Orthodoxy. The martyr is one of the central figures of Christianity. Indeed, we believe our God himself became a martyr. What is a martyr? A martyr is someone who chooses to die rather than to betray the faith. They are shining examples of courage and unyielding faith. Absolutely central to the Christian idea of the martyr is the idea of free will, of choice. The martyr shines forth because he chose suffering rather than betraying his faith. The suffering is meaningful in the context of that choice. Many leftists and postmodernists, though, don't believe in free will or choice. Everything is determined. Your story is already written. You are merely a pawn of fate, a victim or oppressor by virtue of your class or race or sexual preference or. As far as I can tell, the cult of the holy victim is a Christian idea ripped out of the living whole and decaying into madness on its own. Suffering without choice is utterly meaningless, and elevating people who suffered, either at random or because they made poor choices, is madness. God be with you.